Hey there, you me and DC fans, and welcome if you're new. I am the Stepson of Krypton,
I'm Mantis.
and today we are doing another review of Peacemaker. This time, however, we are doing issues 3, 4, and 5. We were going to just try to do them kind of, two issues at a time. Mantis was on vacation last week, so we did not get a chance to do the recording. So figured might as well just group them all together. Mantis, I know it's been a while. Are you ready to discuss Peacemaker? Are you ready to get on into it?
I'm ready.
All right, guys, won't waste any more time. Let's just go ahead and get on into it. All right, guys, as my esteemed colleague Mantis has just pointed out, I know that I just said issues 3, 4, and 5 with Peacemaker. I apologize. Obviously, episodes. I've been reading comics all day, and it just got me thinking about it. So, thank you for pointing that out and correcting me, Mantis. I will undoubtedly make that mistake again. So, let's talk issues 3, 4, and 5. All right. God, think and now I gotta beep that. Son of all right. This is going off the rails fast. We'll get back into it. Episodes 3, 4, and 5. I want to start out first. I kind of want to go over my issues I'm having thus far. No, that is actual
That was
issues.
used right. That was used right.
Actual issues I'm having thus far with Peacemaker. And a lot of it for me right now, I'll tell you right now, we're 5 episodes in. The theme, it's catchy, but it's just not hitting like the opening credits did on the first one. But that's minute. We can look past that. But I'm having some continuity issues, right? And we've been dealing with this since they announced that they were going to launch the DCU, but then all of these things got to come and stay in, and Waller and Economos, now all of Peacemaker. I'm struggling with the way they're doing, even from the Suicide Squad to right now with this relationship with Harcourt and Rick Flag Jr. because it's not making sense. And I hate when, whether it be movies or TV shows try to go back into the past and they just kind of start fucking with things that now don't make sense. And like the whole first season doesn't make sense because Harcourt seemed to hate Peacemaker for a little bit just because he was a piece of shit. She never brings up them killing Rick Flag. They had any kind of a relationship, and to the point of where they start to develop feelings for each other. And now it's all of a sudden, oh, I hate you and I don't like you because of you killed Rick Flag. It just seems weird. I don't know. What are your thoughts on that, Mantis?
I'm going to defer to you because, as you know, when I watch shows, especially the first time through, I don't pick up little things like this. And I'm pretty sure it probably irritates you to some degree.
You have no idea.
Because you now can't talk to me about it. But when I watch a show like, Peacemaker, the first season through, or even sometimes like Arrow, you'll ask details about specific, issues. That pop up, and I'll be like, yeah, I kind of remember that, or I don't remember that. When I'm watching at least this season, I tend to find myself enjoying the way the story's going more, but I kind of agree in the sense that things seem a little off from season 1 to season 2. I don't I don't understand the relationship switch that Harcourt seemed to have instantly from season 1 to season 2 with Chris. And I know they're trying, like you said, they're trying to write it in there that she was involved with Rick Flag Jr. and that's why she was maybe upset and they just didn't mention it. But to the audience, it seems like no, it was because Chris was an asshole. But Chris is an asshole with everyone, and everyone likes Chris. So I mean, I don't know. It's a weird thing. I agree with you. Like continuity, it's as brought it up, it does make sense. But as you know, as a viewer of shows and movies, the first time through, I don't particularly pick up on nice details like you do on that stuff. So,
Well, and then it brings me to my next one, right? Because we find out now that the portal was, they ran into an alien, which I do like that, in the DCU, when the Superman movie came out, it said, 300 years ago, Earth got their first metahumans and were, finally introduced to metahumans and such, and aliens, gods, and monsters and things. So seeing an alien, back in the past, now it doesn't make it seem crazy. Like, okay, yeah,
Mhm.
that's the thing on Earth. But I don't like that all of a sudden now they found the portal, and as kids they learned how to use it and move it and things like that. When in the first season, it they say multiple times that the dad created the technology and created the helmets and things like that, and now they're like, oh no, dad was just a dumb redneck racist and he just stumbled onto the portal and then presumably stole the helmets. But the dad even says in that, he said, like, when Chris goes to get the new helmet in the first episode, when he goes back to see his dad and get Eagly, he's like, I didn't make these while you were in prison. He goes, these are all from before.
I didn't make these things while you were in prison. These are all from before.
Now, I know he doesn't say these are all ones I made before, so it doesn't directly say, so it leaves a little room for interpretation, but it implies that yes. And the quantum unfolding storage area, if you've had this since you were a kid, are you telling me in 20 something years you never went exploring this massive place that opened to 99 other universes? Like, really? It just, again, it seems like now you're trying to make it a big part of this season, and now things from the first season don't make sense. So
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
and it's like, well, okay, so this Chris, we'll just say DC Universe 1, that from Peacemaker season 1, that universe, right? And you see this in episode of, I don't know if it's 3 or 4, I can't remember, where you're talking about where he shoots the alien and finds the device, and this is how they explain that whole thing. Well, okay, like you said, that's where he supposedly gets the helmets and shit, right? Inside of the quantum folding closet. Um, well, okay, well, we find out obviously in Peacemaker season 2 that there's another Chris, another dad, another brother that lived that also has helmets and shit,
And may we
and a
say
door.
he might have been 3 doors down?
Yeah, 3
Sorry.
doors down at
Sorry.
least. I mean, probably. I mean, they're right fucking next to each other that they could never see. Like, I mean, you brought it up. That's another weird thing that just, like, you walk in there. It didn't seem like Chris was walking that far before he found the other door, the other Peacemaker universe door. My question is, DC Universe 1, dad found it, blah, blah, blah. That's how he gets the helmets, one shit. DC Universe 2, dad, that everyone's all copacetic with, Chris wants to be there. Where did their helmets come from? Is it the same thing? Did they find an alien too? And it's like, that's how their door was there? Like, what? Like, I don't understand that. Like, they don't talk about it. It doesn't make, I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. I need to just go with the flow, but
I don't. You
but
said the word copacetic. I thought that meant stay. I thought that was the code word to stay away.
it is stay away. Yeah, it is. It
Okay,
is.
so I was like, don't say anything. Don't say anything.
Try to sneak that in there for you guys that have seen the latest episode. So
I said copacetic.
Yeah, I know you did.
It's the warning word, you dumb fuck.
I know. I need to know the truth about something.
Which we're going to get into in a minute here. We just wanted to kind of discuss it because, yeah, like, why wouldn't the other Chris have gone exploring? You have this,
yeah.
apparently this shared unfolding storage area with up to 99 other universes. Nobody else has gone exploring. Little dude that bring out the dead looking rat things just goes in there and torches them and comes right back out. Like, what? It just, I don't know. It didn't.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. And I know that maybe it's not the biggest of things, but it's gnawing at me because it's like you're making these things so much a part of the series in this season that it just, like, now I'm like, I need answers to why these things are this way. So I don't know. Let us know. Yeah, let us know how are you feeling about these kind of continuity issues and these little things that they've kind of changed and retconned over the course of one season is a little weird. Let me know down in the comments. I don't know how you're feeling about it, but let's get into the good. Okay, we've already discussed the problems, so let's get into the good with these last couple of episodes here. Actually, I got one more bad. And Mantis, you had mentioned this. Like, I feel like Adrian is just so underutilized in this season so far, right? He's been there for a little comic relief, but like, and I don't know, he just gets treated so shitty by Peacemaker in this season.
Well,
like, he didn't invite him to the orgy.
Yeah. And here's the thing, like, Adrian is that, like, he's such a, like, nice guy, but he's a fucking stone cold killer, right?
So you're compassionate about tape, but not brutally murdering people.
Yes.
So you have this persona like that, and he's used for comic relief. Like, that's literally his whole role in this season is literally comic relief to say stupid shit when they're driving in the car about manta rays or fucking spiders or shit. Like, I I get that's funny, but also, and maybe, and I wrote this in our notes, like maybe based off of what I saw from previews from episode 6, he's in a suit now. Maybe we'll get some more action from Adrian and some fight scenes and shit. Because I, you know, I yeah, he's just underutilized. I feel like his character. He's funny, and maybe it was before we knew who he was in season 1. It was kind of funnier, but I I don't know. I like him. I like his character, and I wish they would use it more.
Yeah, but it's annoying because like Adrian is ride or die for Peacemaker, right? Like
Yeah,
he's going and getting the doors, he's coming to help clean up after the orgy, he's chopping up other Peacemaker, he's doing all of these things to help him out, and he just constantly I get him deferring to Eagly as his best friend, but then he's going to Adebayo, and I'm like, where's Adrian in the list here? You leave the note for ads, and you just disappear. Like, why didn't you take Vigilante with you? You haven't seen a Vigilante over there yet.
he's Samwise. I mean, he really is what he is. Frodo's shitting all over him and trying to make it up Mount Doom, and then Frodo ends up leaving him. And this is what's going to happen. Samwise is going to come in at the end and save him. That's what's going to happen.
Well, so starting through issue or episode 3, well, I caught myself and all that. Obviously, we know Titties is going to make it. Okay, so she's good. We don't see her again. She's still in the hospital after what Eagly did. Who we do find out is the Prime Eagle, and we get confirmation of this as of the last episode. So hopefully, if you're watching this, you have seen all the way through episodes 5, because I don't know if that's just how Michael Rooker's character was perceiving it, because he had done the weird kind of voodoo dance there, whatever you want to call it, ritual dance. So he just perceived him as that, but that was the last thing he got to see.
I think it was his combination of him eating the eagle shit and him dancing around a fire at night all crazy. That character, Red, I think is his name, which is funny. I I don't know. I just think it's kind of stupid. The whole gun he had was massive. I thought that was kind of funny, but it seems like a weird thing to put in there. I don't know. I don't know why he's there. The best part of his character was, I think it was, I don't remember which episode it was, but they're on their way to Chris's house, the little group, with Economos, him and the other guys, a judo master and whatever, and they're talking in the van, and they're talking. What's Tim Meadows' character's name? I can't remember his name. Flurry. He's talking about winking at the cyborg bitch, and he's like, I've hunted many balds in Illinois, and no one ever winked at me. That's a point for Hagrid over there. And he's, I don't want you on my team, you psychopath.
I spent many years in the hills of Illinois hunting balds, and ain't nobody ever winked at my ass to say we're in this together. And that there is a point for Hagrid.
I don't want you on my side, you fucking psychopath.
Like, that whole discussion was so great. Like, this is the thing about James Gunn. There's these little pockets of really good comedy that he does. This interaction between groups and talking, like, he's really great at that. I do like that, and they had that in season 1 too. Like that, the little back and forth, and the comedy is adult, but it's like, I don't know, like, it's my type of humor. It's fucking great. I really like that part about it.
Those types of conversations, like when they're doing that, gives me like Quentin Tarantino vibes of like,
Yes,
that's a conversation that I feel like us and we get our group of friends around, we would be talking about something like that and say shit like that. So I like those elements, because they seem more real and more grounded of like, yeah, this is how these kind of guys would behave around each other, getting on each other's nerves and saying stupid shit. Now, obviously, one of the big things in this last 3 episodes here is, and actually really in the last episode, is that they capture Peacemaker. He knew they were going to be there waiting for him, but he wanted to he's trying to, that last defining moment of whether or not he was going to go live in the other universe was finding out if his Harcourt would felt the same. And of course, in true cunty fashion, I say that just because that's what he says at the end of the episode, she stone colds him and fucking puts the wall up, and it's like, no, like, I never felt this way. But then she goes and saves his life, which apparently was all just a test anyways, that Rick Flag would know. So he gets caught by Rick Flag. He gets the shit beat out of him. And I thought the one thing, since we were talking about Flurry, was I thought that was interesting when Economos books Peacemaker and he gets stopped.
Absolutely.
Even Flurry says he was like, "You did the right thing," and he
Yeah.
looks really disappointed because he knew why they've been doing this whole thing is Rick Flag wants revenge.
Yeah, Flurry's a by the book guy, and if you watch it's not deleted scenes, but if you continue on HBO Max, when there's like 10 minutes left after the episode's over. If you watch the last part of that, the characters talk about interactions that they have in the show, and there's a part where Tim Meadows is talking with his when he first meets John Economos in the van, and they're talking, and he's like, "Well, how do I greet you?" Whatever, and he just nods at him, right? Well, when he tells him you did the right thing, he gives him the nod. There's a little thing like that in there, and I agree. I think Flurry doesn't. He knows Rick is trying to do something bad here. He knows that he's the one that needs to kind of keep everything grounded and keep things by the book. And maybe the guys that are in charge here, Rick Flag and the chick, the chick is all up Rick Flag's ass. I mean, she wants to fuck him.
They're going to be banging
Oh,
before too
oh yeah,
long.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
He's gonna download her. Yeah. Anyway,
Gonna stick his USB
so
drive in.
yeah, yeah. So that there's some inner stuff going on there, and it is interesting that Harcourt doesn't. I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like it feels like she's still grappling with whether she likes Chris or not, because she does save his life. She doesn't want him to die. But then when she finds out that he goes to the other universe, at the very end of the last episode, I mean, I forget her name. The black chick, I forget her name.
Adebayo?
Yeah, Adebayo, is reading the note and telling everyone in the group where Chris is at, what happened, and she's like, "We got to go get him," and obviously that's what's going to happen in this next episode. They go over into the new universe to grab him. She still seems like she still cares for Chris to some degree, and maybe seeing her other self in Chris kind of pushes her into like, oh, maybe I do have feelings for Chris at this point.
Well, now here's the other thing too. Okay, because we said with the issues and how she's feeling, you kind of have to also take the other side of it. Could part of it be, and we're seeing the backstory of like at the funeral, and Rick Flag Senior talking to her. Could it be she started feeling guilty because she developed feelings for Chris, knowing what he did to Rick Flag Jr.? So now that she actually has those types of feelings, she feels guilty. So she's mad, but she's really mad at herself, which is why she's going and getting her ass kicked at bars and such, because it was her best friend and a guy that she knows loved her, even though she does make mention he loved many a woman.
Yeah.
But he loved her as a friend was the big, the big takeaway. And Rick Flag Sr. says that he's like, yeah, he loved a lot of women, but he loved you as a friend, which is more, probably more deep in their world. So she's maybe just feeling guilty. And, obviously she's just taking it out on Chris because that's the object of her guilt, is the feeling she has for him. And then there's the asshole side of me that wants to say, that jealous bitch, he likes another Harcourt, and now she wants to go get him because he wants to go be happy.
Can't have that.
And it's the two sides you got to weigh, right? Either one could be possible. I'm just throwing both positions out there. Yeah, could be somewhere in the middle. But so I don't know. Like, it's going to be weird to see them go over, because again, we've not seen, other than Harcourt, we've not seen any of the others over there. And there's been a lot of speculation that, there's not been, much cultural diversity that we've seen over in this other universe. That how's it going to be when Adebayo goes over there with them? That'll be the number one thing is, do people respond to that in a negative way? I will say, though, the interesting thing was when they go over to the new universe, we see the Ultimate Trio there and they fight the kaiju. That's the kaiju from Superman.
Yeah,
so I thought that was interesting that, I mean, it was him. He was sitting out there. So it's kind of like, oh, did they take him down instead of Superman? So I don't know. I thought that was...
it seems like that's the case. Again, we were kind of discussing, maybe it was the last video for Peacemaker we did about what that was going to look like. Like, there's got to be something wrong with this other universe, right? Like, and I did look at some of the I think it was episode 4 when he go or 3, sorry, when he goes over and meets Harcourt and the bomb explodes and there's that activist group that kind of takes over that building that Chris kind of beats up. Well, it doesn't beat up, he kills literally all of them, saves the day from the terrorists, right? The Sons of Liberty, which by the way, that Sons of Liberty is an activist group inside of the DC comics that
Mhm.
are homegrown militia that thinks it's America's lost its way and does violent mean suicide bomber, that type of stuff. So it is in line with what from the comics, that same Sons of Liberty. So we'll see if that kind of plays, if that's kind of the same route that James Gunn's going to go with those. But this other universe, yeah, there's, I mean, what the very end of that episode when I saw the TV screen there, because it's literally the very, I think it's almost the last, it is the last scene in that episode where he comes into Argus, and then you see on the screen Trio saves city from kaiju, and there's no Superman there. So I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, and it's interesting too because the one thing that makes you think is like his dad's suit looks the exact same with the devilish looking mask. It's just blue. So
Hmm.
that's kind of like if you're a hero, because like his brother's got a cool badass looking kind of Judge Dredd looking type suit, and they all have their jetpacks and such. And Chris's suit doesn't look too much different. Obviously, his helmets are going to change, all the time depending on what they do. But it's like, why would the dad's suit still look so menacing if they're supposed to be for good? I'm like
Yeah.
actual good, not good for what this society might deem good, right? And that's where I
Right.
think kind of the difference is, and we can all relate to that right now, like, is what's the actual moral good versus, okay, no, this society believes this way is good and they're the heroes of that good, but that might
Hmm.
be bad. Kind
Right.
of a thing. I don't That's just another one of those things that when you look at that, you're like, okay, that's kind of weird that the suit would still look like he's the devil. It's just
Yeah.
blue.
Yeah. I think this next episode we're going to get a lot of questions answered, hopefully, or who knows? Maybe it'll just
We
be
got
more
like
questions.
freaking two more. I mean, that's it, man. And
Yeah.
I know, so James Gunn, we talked about it in the previous one. At the end of this season, there's supposed to be a big cameo. So I'm be curious to see, is that a Superman? Is that a more Guy Gardner, which we already got? So I don't think that would kind of count, right?
Mm.
We've already seen Maxwell Lord, Hawk Girl, Green Lantern and all that. So maybe we get a Superman, maybe we get a Supergirl, maybe we get a Lobo appear, and we get something.
That'd
I'm
be
kind
awesome.
of like, obviously the wheels are turning. We're trying to put things together as we go. But since we got the kaiju, I feel like we're gonna find out something else that's going
Hmm.
on. I don't know. Thus far, I'd say I don't want to say underwhelming of a season, but it's not. I don't think it's, in some ways, I don't think it's as good as the first season because there's maybe just not as much action, but there's more heart. There's
Yeah,
more
there's more
emotion.
backstory. There's more
Yeah,
backstory going on. There's more storylines for sure, and more questions than anything in this season. I think the weirdest thing so far, the weirdest thing is the Prime Eagle thing. That's just the weirdest thing. I don't know where that's going at all. So
yeah, right. Like you had two kind of episodes where Eagly's been the badass, right? Because you had the one where when he attacks titties in them, and
yeah.
as that meta duck, and then we had this one where he's the prime eagle and he did summon other eagles, and which I thought was funny too. Real quick, that Economos tells him when he saves Eagly's life. And he gets knocked over. He goes, "Oh, another eagle swooped down and he fell and hit his head." Well, when it actually does happen, he
Yeah.
falls the same way and hits his head again. And then
Yeah.
he sees Eagly, the prime eagle. I know a lot of us. I was kind of worried there for a minute when, like, because you see it get shot and you're like, okay, no, that's not it. And then when they cut to the eagle on the ground bleeding, you're like, oh my god, that's Eagly. Like,
Yeah.
did they give him such a badass moment because now is again, we're looking for all the things that are going to push Chris to go to the other universe. I thought that was going to be, oh my god, they're going to kill Eagly, but then they know fans would just erupt. Like,
Oh
it's
yeah.
like you can kill any of the other characters, you can't kill Eagly
Yeah.
off. So I don't know. Yeah, definitely very interested to see where we go from here with that, and the Prime Eagle. He's obviously going to have some kind of bigger part to play now that he's over flying with. I did love seeing him fly with the three of them. He's just there
Yeah.
hanging out, chilling,
Soren.
and his
Yeah.
brother's just so like, he's like, oh, he's a rescue eagle. Okay,
Yeah.
just all
Okay.
right, move on. We got to go.
Yeah.
But guys, let us know down in the comments, how have you been feeling about this season thus far? Like I had mentioned earlier, is the continuity errors slash issues slash just the way they're kind of doing things, is it bugging you? Are you loving this season more? Obviously, we always love Eagerly more, but that was always without question.
Mhm.
So, Mantis, anything else before we wrap up this episode?
No, nothing left.
I'll have to cut those. Too many of them. All right. If you have made it with us this far, guys, we definitely do appreciate it. Consider giving the video a like, subscribing to the channel, and having the bell notifications clicked. I know it's annoying, but we've got one more round of videos for the Peacemaker series here, and then everything we're doing in the comic book world, where you will hear me call those episodes, as I've done a couple of times for whatever reason.
Sure.
Doing a whole lot in the comics right now. If you've not made it out to your local comic book store, do so. The Deadpool Batman crossover from Marvel and DC just came out. It was a very, very good issue. Go check that out. Don't know if we'll do a review on that one on the channel or not, guys. If you want to see one, let us know down in the comments. And to keep this episode shorter than the average length of a Peacemaker episodes, which have been shorter this season. That is going to do it for us on this episode of You, Me, and DC, guys. Until next time, we'll see you then.
Later.